How's it going, everyone? My name is Husky, and today I'm going to be talking about the way that I am trying to prepare for Expert Mode in Pokemon Sleep. As we know, Expert Mode is coming, potentially next week or the week after. The next time we get maintenance, Expert Mode will be available in Greengrass Isle. And for many of us who have been playing for a long time, we will have reached the Master 18 threshold required on Greengrass Isle, so we will be able to go participate in Expert Mode if we are ready to do that. Now, I'm personally extremely excited for this mode because I have made a lot of investments in random Pokemon that wouldn't necessarily be recommended in a lot of min-max situations. So I'm pretty excited about this because it means that I might be able to get some of my double investments or temp investments into Expert Mode and actually have some use. I mean, for example, I've invested in quite a few oil farmers just because it's what I needed in the moment, and I didn't really think too much about it. I have a couple partially invested Toxicroaks, I have a Cramorant invested for oil, and I have a Luxray invested for oil. So, and not only that, I also have a Mawile that I'm sitting on that has AAB, I think. So I have a couple oil options, but, you know, usually you would only invest one Pokemon for each ingredient type. For me, that's not the case. So having these options to put different Pokemon in is really exciting for me. But what I am doing here is I want to take a look at some of the Pokemon that are in my box and try to create some teams that I think would be very valuable for Expert Mode. Specifically, I'm looking to match the type of the most high favored berry, the main favored berry, or whatever it is they're calling it, and see kind of what my meal coverage looks like. So I'm going to show an example in this video of how I'm doing that with one of my strongest berry types, what I believe is one of my strongest berry types, which is the Oron berry, or the water berry. Now, I have a healer slot here. I don't have a water type healer, so I think regardless, unless I'm just going to go with one team and, you know, sleep with that team and not really worry too much about a healer, I'm just keeping one slot for a healer. And what I have done here in the team analysis section is I've set it to Greengrass Isle. Obviously, I'm not focusing too much on, you know, what my outcome is going to be because the area bonus isn't going to match up for Expert Mode, but I've set it to Greengrass Isle, and I have just selected one berry, assuming that the Oron berry is the favorite berry. And I've populated this team with a couple different selections, and then I'm looking down here at the different meals that I'm likely going to be covered by this team that I have set up. So if I have this specific team, if we take a look here, my Blastoise is going to be best for desserts, obviously. It's very good there. Suicune, I put on the team because if it's water berry and I'm going to have a lot of water berry Pokemon, then Suicune is going to be a really good option. Vaporeon to pull in extra ingredients. And then Feraligatr is this berry specialist type. Now, if I do have desserts, which is the first thing that I'm, you know, assuming that I have desserts, and I'm going to do this for all three meal types, it's saying that I have pretty good coverage for Petal Dance Chocolate Tart, which isn't the most ideal meal type, but I am going to be able to make extra meals sometimes, assuming that the Vaporeon pulls in some ingredients. Now, interestingly, as I'm looking at this, Feraligatr, though it's very, very strong, does not provide me a lot of meal coverage specifically for desserts. It has sausage and oil. It's level 51, so it doesn't have a ton of oil, and it has a pretty high ingredient rate. It's getting me 8 sausage a day and 17 oil a day. If I were to look for meal coverage specifically, I could potentially look for a different option in here. I have a Mudkip, but obviously I would evolve that one. And it doesn't look like I have a ton. I could throw in Golduck, which is level 43. And I would have a bit more coverage. Well, I wouldn't have more coverage. I then have Cacao, because it's not level 60 for the apples. But either way, this doesn't really change much. So I'd probably still run the Feraligatr in this situation. And then I really would need the Vaporeon to make sure that I get that extra meal coverage. So in terms of desserts, if I were to roll desserts, this is probably what my team would look like. And I would mainly look to cover Petal Dance Chocolate Tart. It wouldn't be the most ideal choice, but to match Favored Berry, if we assume that the penalty is as much as we might think it is for non-Favored Berry types, that would be what we end up with. Also, Pawmot, not too bad for bringing in a little bit of extra milk and cacao, and Vaporeon's also bringing in a little bit of extra milk and cacao, so I'll have plenty of milk to be able to pull off the Lovely Kiss smoothie, potentially build up enough eggs over the week to make flower gift macarons or enough coffee to make Clodsire Eclair by the end of the week. But generally, what we're looking at here is if I were to roll Waterberry, which is one of my strongest types, I would be able to cover Petal Dance Chocolate Tart very well, and occasionally the Lovely Kiss smoothie. And with a little bit of preparation, I could do decently. Now, let's change us up here to salads and see what we might end up covering in terms of salads. So it looks like the best salad that I can make with this team is the Contrary Chocolate Meat Salad, which is not too bad, but I'm not going to be able, I would be able to cover Petal Blizzard once. Moo Moo Caprese would be the other dish that I would be able to cover. Unfortunately, for the water type berry, salads is not too good. I think I would definitely need to have Vaporeon on the team, but potentially Blastoise. There's not even salads with mushrooms, is there? This doesn't help me, right? No, not really. I could try to make Spore Mushroom Salad, but then I'm missing tomatoes. Not having the Blastoise is also going to hurt for strength. Do I have a second? I have a second for Alligator that's also ABB. What does that do? I could make Snow Cloak, but it would still be just sitting on Contrary Chocolate Meat Salad for the most part. And I wouldn't even be able to do that as much because I wouldn't be getting as much cacao. So I think still the ideal ends up being the Blastoise still. And then and I need the sausage for Alligator. I am subscribed. Shh. I am. Yeah. So, for salads, it's not nearly as good. Now, let's see. If I alternated the healer to Gardevoir, does that help me? And then I would be able to... It's saying that I might be able to make Calm Mind Fruit Salad because of the corn that I would end up getting from the Gardevoir. It's saying I might be able to make green grass salad as well. It's not like Gardevoir is getting me a ton of corn, 8 per day, so I would have to like wait on it. But it might be better to run the Gardevoir because I would be able to make a couple stronger meals. And I don't think Wiggly would help me. My Wiggly is mono honey. Yeah, it doesn't. It would get me, eventually a Calm Mind Fruit Salad, but then I'm missing the corn. I'm really relying on the Vaporeon to bring in a ton of triggers. So in terms of salads, I think the best team for Water-type Berry would be this team with the Gardevoir as the healer for the extra corn, and just look to capitalize on Suicune triggering and Vaporeon triggering to be able to make a couple better meals toward the end of the week. It looks like I can make 2 Calm Mind Fruit Salads throughout the week, 1 on Sunday. It's saying I would eventually be able to get Cross Chop Salad, and I would eventually be able to get Green Grass Salad, Ninja Salad too. So, not too bad, but I think desserts is definitely a bit stronger for me. Now, for the last one, which would be curries. if I'm looking to make curries with this team, I would most often be making cheeseburger curry and drought katsu curry. Oh, hey. Okay. She's here. So this is saying much less strength, too. So I think potentially... No, not psychic. We could consider Quagsire, which would get me closer to Ninja Curry, but still not that good. And that would actually be worse because I would be able to make cheeseburger curry pretty consistently. And then I think we would need, because the corn isn't going to help, I think we would still need Pomade here for the extra milk and cacao. And it says I'd be able to make Dream Eater butter curry. The problem is going to be the potatoes and tomatoes because I don't have water types that cover that. So I guess still, like, even though Quagsire has the mushrooms and does cover some of the dishes in curries, I think the team still remains the same because Feraligatr just has such a high ingredient rate. The cheeseburger curry would just be better. Pomade also has raised the strength a little bit just by producing a little bit of extra milk and cacao. That's really nice to have. So I would mainly be doing the hearty cheeseburger curry. Eventually, it's saying I'd be able to make an egg bomb curry. And I would eventually get enough for Inferno corn keema curry, it's saying, on Sunday. So all three of these options, I think, really are helpful with having a Vaporeon to get a lot of triggers and bring in more ingredients, because that's really the only way that I'm going to be able to consistently cover meals. Now, keeping this in mind, there are going to be multiple other favored berries. We just wouldn't know what they are. So for me, preparing based on what the main favored berry is going to be is what I want to try to do, just so that I have an idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this team. Can I, like... It's saying that I want to, like, save it, like, with a name. Can I not do that? Oh. Oh, I can add sessions or whatever. I haven't explored the full feature thing. What does this do? Oh. So... Oh, that... It gets me a picture. Okay, what does this do? Now I'm just learning about stuff. I'm just like, okay, wait, yeah, great. So this is pretty solid. I think this is going to be one of my most solid team comps. What is it? Advanced options? No. Okay. So, let's do another one. Just so that we can see, because I have another really strong option. Most of them, I mean, I'm not going to have a super strong option for. But the other strongest option that I kind of have, at least I think, is my Greppa berry, the electric berry. Oh my god. My cat is over here. She's probably going to start biting my hand because she doesn't like when I use the mouse. So let's just throw in kind of the best electric types that I have. A Raikou will be invested in eventually. I don't quite have one. Dedenne is another one. I already have Pomade on the team. We've got Luxray. We've got plenty of options. Plus on Minun also, I guess, are options. Alright. So this is kind of, I guess, my best electric type team. Now, the thing that it's saying we can make in terms of curries, the only thing that we can make is solar power tomato curry. And I can make that for every single meal. And it's not gonna be very strong. Where we have eggs and apples, doesn't help. We have herbs, which does help. If we have Luxray on the team, that means that we have tomatoes, and we have apples and cacao, milk and cacao here. But it doesn't help us a lot. So what else, what other options? I don't really have a ton of other options. If I threw the oil one, now I can make melty omelet curry, solar power, mild honey curry, and then I have a bunch of other filler ingredients. Still, curries aren't looking super solid. I don't think Jolteon is really going to help me, right? Just solar power tomato curry. Fine. I'm not going to have the Raikou for a while. What if I put Plusle? Eventually I'd be able to make Dizzy Punch spicy curry. I'd have honey as well. And I'd probably need, I'd probably want to still run the other Luxray with the tomatoes just to like make sure I'm getting enough. My cat's staring at the screen watching the mouse. I think she really wants to get the mouse. I'm gonna make solar power, tomato curry, and Dizzy Punch spicy curry on Sunday. And this is actually the best option. Assuming I brought this to level 30, I would get helping bonus, which isn't bad. And he has ingredient finding up. No skill trigger, but I mean, it's not too bad. I probably wouldn't put main skill seeds into it. I would get a little bit more, I would still be able to make Dizzy Punch spicy curry if I just sat on the coffee I had throughout the week and then made that on Sunday. So this would not be a ingredient team, that's for sure. I would be looking for mainly berry strength, and I'd probably run Dedenne overnight. Yeah. So that's for curries for electric berry. Let's go to salads next. Let's see what we've got here. Salads with this team is allowing me to make apple acid yogurt dressed salad on Sunday and a couple other meals sprinkled throughout the week with this team. But mainly, I'd be making snoozy tomato salad, which isn't the best. It's not the best. If I change to this, if I change to this Luxray with the oil, I would be doing a bit better. I'd be able to make Moo Moo Caprese salad at some points. I'd be able to make Dazzling Apple Cheese salad as well. And then it's saying I could still make apple acid yogurt dressed salad. And I don't think that Plusle super helps me here. So let's try if we put Dedenne back. If we put Dedenne back, now I'm cooking. Because now I can make mostly Dazzling Apple Cheese salad. Because I'm getting that extra apples. The milk is completely coming from Palmot. So I would be able to make Dazzling Apple Cheese salad most of the time. Still, I'd be able to get enough eggs for apple acid yogurt dressed salad. And I'd still have to make snoozy tomato salad a couple times during the week. Now, I wouldn't want to take Ampharos off the team, but it doesn't look like herbs help me at all. So if I switched in Plusle again, assuming it was level 30, does it get me anything else? Not really. It gets me... No, it doesn't change anything because it's bringing me coffee and leeks. It just adds one immunity leek salad that I'd be able to bring in. And it would trigger about 4 times a day, which isn't too bad. I don't mind the idea of using Plusle as like a kind of Vaporeon type thing, but I wouldn't want to invest like main skill seeds into it. So I still think for salads, running what we would expect to run, Ampharos just gives too much strength to not run it, I think. So we would just, again, have a not as great meal type, but we would be able to cover some decent options and have a strong Sunday as well. So this would kind of be, it would mainly just be switching out this this Luxray, the other Luxray that I have for the oil one to get me some oil. Not too bad. Let's take a look at then desserts. So if we did this, desserts would be mainly Lucky Chant apple pie. Isn't the most ideal. Petal Dance chocolate tart. Makes sense. I have the apples, and this one covers apples, and this one covers cacao. This is a little bit of cacao. This one covers milk as well. This one gets me eggs. If I got this one to 60, it would give me eggs, but I just am not going to be able to do that. Another thing that's not helping me at all here is this Luxray. So I wonder, actually, if Jolteon makes this better. Jolteon does actually make this a little bit better. He's got extra helpful, and he covers a little bit of milk and a little bit of cacao. So this would be a no ingredient finder team that I think could do pretty well, because I'd be able to make Petal Dance chocolate tart consistently, or fairly consistently. And then I'd make some Lucky Chan apple pie, and then on Sunday I'd be able to make a couple different things. I'd be able to store up enough eggs, and where's the honey coming from? That's what I want to know. I don't know how I'd be able to make, where would I be getting honey? I have no idea. Oh, because of my Pikachu, the nightcap Pikachu, I'd be able to save up enough honey. So, and enough cacao as well. So this isn't bad. Running the Jolteon here. What does Raikou give me? This is my best current Raikou, but I do plan on minting this Raikou and bringing it up to 50. But it's going to be a long time before I'm able to do that. So if I had this one, it doesn't help me a ton. It just has sausage. Which honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, if I go back to curries, I'd be able to make hearty cheeseburger curry, which I think was better, maybe? Whoopsie. And what else did I have on here? Luxray. I'd be able to make Drought Katsu curry and Solar Power Tomato curry with this team. So Raikou is also an option, though it's still like ingredient finding down, so if I am looking for meal coverage, it probably isn't the call. So for desserts then, I would likely be looking at this team here. And Palmot, being an electric type healer, is kind of the mainstay. But this is kind of like what I'm doing, seeing what the best options I have for expert mode are. I would like to try to match favored berry best I can, instead of worrying as much about meal coverage, because, you know, that's kind of the way that I normally play. I build my teams around what can be covered throughout the week. So this is going to be a kind of a different play style. But I hope you enjoyed just kind of my out loud thought process. Let me know what your plans for expert mode are, and I will see you all next time. Bye!